In this video, we will be going over a skin fade haircut. A skin fade is a haircut that blends all the way from no hair or smooth skin up to some skin. The first step in your skin fade service is a consultation. You always want to look your client in the eye and introduce yourself before walking them to your chair. Examples of some opening questions include, how are you wanting your haircut today? Tell me about your hair lately. How are you feeling about it? What are your hair goals today? You can say, I see you are booked for a skin fade. Do you have some photos of haircuts that you like as references? You can say, talk to me about what you do and do not like about your hair when you get a haircut. These are all great examples of questions that will lead you to what you should and should not do during the service. So talking about skin fades, we have some variations. A low fade is a skin fade that has very little skin showing just above the ears. A medium fade has a moderate amount of skin showing, and a high fade, which is also sometimes called a high and tight, has a lot of skin showing on the sides. Remember that a client's language may not always match professional barber language. Pictures help make sure that you are on the same page about what these words, low, medium, and high, actually mean in terms of their haircut. So you should also discuss the top and some blending options. Think about where their hair is now and where they want to go with the style. Is this a realistic goal for them? Touch the hair, move it around with your hands and comb, and discuss with them what you think their requested length will respond like with their hair type and their cowlicks. Show them with your fingers where their requested length will fall. Clients may not have a good idea of exactly what 2 inches off means. Sometimes it's just what they've learned to say. Make sure to know ahead of time if you plan on blending the top to the sides or if there will be disconnection. Remember that clients don't always understand words like disconnection. Try to explain it to them in normal people words. After your consultation, you'll start with the sides. Note that there are many ways to fade hair, and this is just one of them. Feel free to combine this with other methods and use whatever feels effective for you and your clients. In this method, you will set yourself up a roadmap that will lead you through the whole haircut. The goal when fading the sides is to create a smooth, blurry effect. This is achieved by controlling contrast and connecting lengths. Starting out your sides, you want to set your baselines. Note that when cutting your baselines, make sure to use an upward scooping motion to encourage blending with every cut. Use a foreguard to remove bulk on the sides. Based on what height of fade the client asks for, use your clippers with no guard, closed, and remove hair. For a low fade, you'll go approximately 1 inch above the ears and just below the occipital. For a medium fade, you should go approximately 2 inches above the ears and above or below the occipital. For a high fade, you should usually go approximately 3 inches above the ears and above the occipital. After you've done your 0 and your 4, use a 2 guard and cut the hair between your 4 and your 0 about halfway. You can use this diagram on the right as reference. This is probably about a medium fade, but note that the height of your fade will change where your levels are. So next we'll bald out the skin area. Just beneath where your 0 was, take your edgers and cut the hair up to just below where the 0 cut. Scoop upwards with your edgers, not down. Next, with your electric box shaver or straight razor, remove the hair just below where you were with the edgers. If you're using an electric shaver, you can tap to blend out the skin to hair demarcation. Now that we have a smooth bald area, a 2 and a 4, you should see 3 distinct levels in your haircut. Again, remember with each cut to use an upward scooping motion. In this section, we'll only focus on the 1.5, the 1, and the half guard. So we'll be blending beneath where your 2 cut. Start with your 1.5, then switch to the 1, then switch to the half. After this section, we will see a blend only between a half and a 2. With each guard that you use, start with it completely open. This is with the lever on the longest setting. As you cut, close the lever slowly and move lower and lower on the head. After you move through with your 1.5 guard, then use your 1 guard, doing the same process, and then finish with a half closed guard. Observe your half to 2 fade. You'll use the same process with each guard. Adjust as needed and move on to the next section. You can revisit any guard at any time if that is where you think you see weight. So at this point, we should see a blend only between a half and a 2. Now we'll focus between the half and the skin. Open your clipper all the way on the longest setting with no guard. Cut the hair scooping upwards in small increments. Close the lever little by little, continuing to cut a little bit at each level. This will create the blend and connect all the lengths. Continue cutting and closing the lever until you're all the way closed at a 0. At this point, you should start to see a blend between the skin and the 2. You can use whatever angle of the clipper, pressure of the clipper, and scoop height is necessary to create a seamless blend. Feel free to continue manipulating the lever to achieve different lengths. So now we should start to see a fade between the skin and the 2. In this section, we'll only focus on the 4, 3, and 2 guards. Then we'll review. Start with your 3 guard, open it all the way. Scoop upwards to just below where your 4 was. Close the lever slowly until it's all the way closed, moving lower with every cut. Do the same thing with your 2 guard. Open it all the way and close it slowly, moving slightly lower with every swipe. You should see your haircut connecting before your eyes. At this point, you should take a step back, look for weight in your fade. If you see something that you want to correct but you don't know how to find it, start long. Close your lever and go shorter with your guards in that one area and listen for the clipper cutting. Start long, go shorter little by little. Once you hear the hair being cut, you know that you've found that length that you're looking for. So now that our sides are completed, we will move on to the top. The consultation will lead you to the length and shape that is appropriate for the top. A pompadour or a comb-over look will suggest leaving the bang area longer. A crop or a short bang will suggest a shorter fringe, increasing in length towards the back. A traditional men's shape is a straight line from front to back, and the shape of the head naturally means that the bang area will be slightly longer. So first we'll create a guideline. Create a mohawk parting from front to back about 1 inch wide. This is the diagram you see on the right. Decide whether you'll increase or decrease in length from front to back. Remember that the top point of the head will create the shortest length when you hold the hair straight up because of head shape. Being mindful of cowlicks and head shape, cut the desired section into the mohawk. You'll see on the left hand in this photo the elevation that you should use for this parting. So next we'll cut to our guideline. Take horizontal sections from side to side about 1 inch thick, which will end up including your guideline in the center. Cut each horizontal section holding the hair straight up to match the guideline in the middle. You can cross-check your work by taking sections from front to back, side to side, and diagonally. Notice the diagram on the right are our sections, and the photo on the bottom right is our elevation. So now that our top is cut, we will connect it to the sides. If this is an undercut or a disconnected haircut, you can disregard this section. Think of your sections being like beach balls, with the top of the head being the center. Take vertical beach ball sections straight out from the head and look to connect your foreguard with the length that you cut on the top. Here you may get artistic and angle your fingers and graduate or angle to however fits the haircut. However, a standard blending technique is with your fingers straight up and down for the least amount of weight. These photos should be of some assistance. So now that our haircut is generally completed, we'll review. Take a step back, look at the haircut in the mirror, adjust as needed. Ask the client how they are feeling about their haircut. You don't really want to ask them, do you like it? It gets kind of awkward and forces them to say yes or no. It is easier to say, how do you feel, and leave them with an open-ended question. Style and blow dry as desired. Try not to let the client leave with soaking wet hair. Make sure to always use at least one product, even if it is just a leave-in conditioner or tonic. You want their hair to look and smell great and have haircut day feeling special. And that's our skin fade. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section.